101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. And good morning to you. Thanks for being with us. Indiana Area School District Superintendent Rob Heinrich is with us this morning, and he's brought with him today another studio guest. With us this morning is the chairman of the Indiana Area School Board Outreach Committee. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Dr. Jim Shaffer is with us this morning as well. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning,
Thank
Todd.
you. Good morning.
It's good to have you both with us. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Rob, I said jokingly a couple of moments ago, there's nothing going on at all within the Indiana Area School District, right?
How we wish that was true. There's definitely no shortage of things to do. There's a lot on our plates right now as we really get into 2024, but it's exciting work. It's all good, moving in the right direction.
Yeah. Well, let's talk with Jim this morning because, Jim, Outreach Committee, for folks who don't know, it's a really important committee in terms of communicating, if nothing else, with the entire community.
It is, the sole purpose is to get the word out and also get input from the community back to the school district. So we've taken the opportunity with the new school board members on board to try to revamp the program a little bit and come up with strategies to do our job a little more effectively.
Yeah. Well, within that context, let's talk about a couple of things that folks are very much interested in, and your committee is trying to keep everybody informed about it and get opinions on them from. And, well, I think probably the biggest example of that is the Horace Mann building, right? Correct.
That's one of our big, upcoming events. The meeting that we have planned for the end of the month is the first step in coming up with a strategy and a plan of what to do with Horace Mann once Eisenhower is completed.
Mm-hmm. So how does that get formatted? What's what are folks going to expect out of that meeting?
It's just it's a required first step statute wise. So it's more of a formality to put it out there that, hey, this building, we have to come up with a plan for it. That's really what's going to happen first. And then we have some ideas to, what could be done with the building. And we're going to look for public input through some surveys and the one firm that we talked about.
Yeah, and the 780 hearing is just an opportunity to tell the public what we might be seeing down the road. We're going to repurpose the building. With Eisenhower remodel, it gives us an opportunity to bring fourth and fifth grade together, be more efficient and effective. Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense to not only the students and the teachers and the staff, but the taxpayers as well. And so we're going to talk about what we could repurpose Horace Mann for. Do we put a different educational program in there? Do we look to lease it? Do we look to sell it? Whatever it might be. So this is an opportunity for the borough residents to come and the township residents to come and give their input. And then after that, we'll take it back to the committees and we'll have serious discussions over what we think the best opportunity would be.
No, I'm sure that there are already ideas on the table and people can learn about what those ideas are, but they're invited to bring their own ideas too, right?
That's correct. Yeah, we had through the Buildings and Grounds Committee, over the last couple of years, we've had a couple just brainstorming sessions, what the building could be used for, just to start thinking about it. Like Rob said, there's multiple different things. It really opens up a lot of opportunities because we can focus resources into it without a separate fourth and fifth grade, two separate but equal schools. We can put all the resources into one school for the fourth and fifth graders and then devote other resources towards whatever Horace Mann is going to become.
Yeah. So that's one thing is that hearing, and that is coming up later in the month. But there are other issues that the Outreach Committee and the school board as a whole and the administration are looking at. The Eisenhower building is one of those things.
Yeah, they're making a lot of progress down there. I don't know if you've had a chance to drive by it or anything, but they have completely gutted the building. The I guess, what is it called? The deconstruction phase? Demolition phase is well underway, if not complete. And now they're already starting to put new pieces in place. So they're making a lot of progress. They're moving at a very nice pace, and we're pleased with the progress.
If folks haven't seen the architect's depiction of what that's going to look like, is there an opportunity for them to do that? Can they see that somewhere
Yeah, absolutely.
online?
They can stop by the central office anytime. We have some blueprints and some workups, and that they can look through and be happy to share that with any community member that wants to come by and see what it's going to look like. It's pretty much the same. For those listening, it's pretty much the same building with a few extra classrooms added to one side and a new gym cafeteria area added to the other side.
Yeah, yeah. And everybody's always interested in the timeline. If this happens and this building opens again at this time, then what's the domino effect for the way the school district operates the rest of the way? And if we're talking about transparency and communication, folks want to know that. Those answers are readily available, are they not?
Through the Buildings and Grounds Committee, they we have a standing bullet point on every agenda to update the Eisenhower progress. So, through that committee meeting, they provide where we're at in the progress. It's early days, so, a small little bump might, we're trying to prevent those little bumps so we don't get a big delay later on.
Sure, but especially with supply line.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The demand that is placed upon that very fragile system, one little delay here could just delay the entire project. I think timing in construction, I think folks probably don't realize that timing in construction projects is key.
It's incredible how many different subcontractors are involved with the general contractor and how the coordination of those different laborers is so critical to the piece, because these guys can't do their job until the masons get in and do their job, and the electricians have to wait for the plumber or whatever it might be. It's quite an exercise in logistics to make sure everybody's on time, and they're doing a really good job so far. So we're hopeful that we're going to be on time here.
Let's hit a few topics here that I know that you're dealing with as Indiana Area School District and School Board. You got the purchase of a school van coming up. That's a big agenda. It doesn't look like a great big agenda item, but it really is.
Well, it's a problem solver. So we have obviously we have a transportation contract, and they provide a lot of the transportation. But there's certain situations where a big school bus just doesn't make sense, and the availability and something comes up and we need something in a timely manner. This van that the school board has agreed to purchase is going to give us some flexibility. To take a few of the wrestlers, perhaps, that are going out to compete individually coming up, or the golf team in the fall, or what it might be, that a smaller group of students that have to go somewhere, usually in special circumstances, plus little things around the district for students going on field trips or special events. So it's going to give us some flexibility that we need. It's a big move. In the
Up to the corner of 9th and Philly for their monthly appearance on Indiana.
Very good example, yes, sir.
You've got the ESCO assessment coming up too.
Yeah, so the ESCO assessment is an energy savings company is going to come in and look at all of the lights in our district, all the fluorescent bulbs, and they're going to work up a proposal for us to say, look, we can come in and replace all of your bulbs with LED lights, and we will save you X amount of dollars down the road in energy costs. So it's a free assessment. They come in and write the proposal and give it to the board, and then the board members, like Dr. Shaffer, have to decide if that juice is worth the squeeze, so to speak, and hopefully we can save some money down the road.
What would it be without those flickering tubes, though, and the dim light that they provide? We're talking with Rob Heinrich, the Superintendent, Indiana Area School District, and with Dr. Jim Shaffer, Indiana Area School Board member and the chair of Indiana School Board's Outreach Committee. Dr. Shaffer, when we think about ways to improve communication, I know that's constantly under assessment by you as well. And getting information out, getting information back, they're equally important, aren't they?
100%, yes. We've talked about a lot of people who do reach out and say, well, we didn't even know that was a thing until the board passed it on multiple different issues.
Yeah.
And we came to the realization that not a lot of people have involvement in all the publicly available committee meetings where a lot of the discussions are actually had. So we've worked to come up with a mechanism to summarize those meetings, put them in bullet points, and make sure that they're spread out on our social media and the school website to make people aware of what issues are there. Because, to be honest, you only hear from community members when a particular topic hits their area of interest. And
Yeah.
I was no different when I started. I really got involved with the school district during COVID because it's an area that I know something about, and wanted to make sure that the school was guided down, a correct path so our kids could stay in school and get the education they needed. So trying to provide that information in a very easily digestible manner to as many people as possible.
Yeah, I know, Rob, you'd love to have those sorts of community members who are so involved that they're aware and they attend school board meetings and committee meetings, and they want to learn things, and they ask questions and all of that. But the reality is, whether it's time concerns or just other priorities in their life, they're just not able to do that. Or they don't have the desire to do that, but they still deserve to have the information.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they absolutely deserve to have the information. And we do a great job. And Dr. Shaffer has been doing a great job as the outreach chair of pushing us to come up with new ways. We live in this information age. And in Indiana specifically, we have a lot of challenges. Some people get their news off AM radio. Others are plugged into social media. Others, don't do either, and they read the paper. And so we have to be looking for a numerous number of outlets to get the information to the public. We record every one of our committee meetings and put them on a YouTube channel for people to view if they can't give the time commitment. We blast things out on social media now. We have spots like this where we can come and communicate to the community. We're trying to figure out every way we can to make sure the taxpayers are aware of what we're trying to do and why we're trying to do it, and invite people to the table to come and speak their mind and let us know what's important to them. Yeah,
it's kind of interesting because it reminds me of the image that we have of the old days. And small town America, where every school board meeting, the whole town turned out.
Right.
And, you had town meetings, and people would come, and they'd you think of the Norman Rockwell painting where people were standing up and making their points and being respectful of everybody else. And we'd love to have that kind of feeling in a community as well, and that's what school districts and school boards strive for.
Absolutely, yeah. 780 hearing coming up is a good example. After the 780 hearing, we're going to open up a spot on our website where people can just send us their comments. Just type in their name and their address and say, hey, here's what I think about Horace Mann. So there's a way to participate even after the meeting if you think of something later. And because we really do value the public's opinion. I mean, we work for the community, and we are community servants, and we want to make sure that we can do our job better when we know what the community values.
Yeah, Jim, when and where the meeting?
That's at the end of the month.
February 26th at the senior high school.
26th at the senior high.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Gentlemen, thanks for coming by today. We appreciate that very much.
Thanks for
having us, Todd. Appreciate it.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. CBS Sports coming next, and then Jake is here. He's in the WCCS newsroom with us. It's 25 minutes after 8 o'clock. The voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com.